Hey guys, going to do a plant tour right quick of a few of my plants. So this right here is my bamboo plant. I've had this for 10 plus years and it's in water the entire time that I've had it. Needs some more. And I do not thread mine together. I kind of let it grow however it wants, and I might add a little bit more threading to it as it continues to get taller. It does have all of its bark and stuff that's coming along really good. I love the way it looks. It is very full and just gorgeous. Several new leaves all the time. This sits in my kitchen with a north-facing window. Don't mind the mess. We live in our house. All right, so next we have an African violet. This has big, beautiful, bright purple leaves. Right now I have it in a bottom watering pot, and it's in African violet soil. So it's well draining. This guy does not like to stay wet at all. Another plant in my kitchen is this amaryllis. Right now it's got lots of good roots. I've got it in bark and a little bit of moss, and they do very well. I'm waiting for the stem to come up with the bloom. Mine usually takes a while to do that. All right, so next I have this jade that I got at Walmart last year. It is wintertime, so these guys do struggle a little bit where I'm from. So, and I've got lots of new babies that are just popping up here. I'm super happy. This sits in my dining room, so it gets a sliding glass doors on the north side light, and it gets really good lighting. And I'm going to come up here to my plant wall. I'm still kind of rearranging this a little bit. No judgment. Those are fake. And I got those from Hobby Lobby. So this is my golden pothos that I've had in water for about 2 years now. It's doing really well. Slow growing for some reason. That is the only pothos that I have that is super slow growing. So then come down here, and I've got a silver Scindaptus, I think is the right word. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And this guy, my son took scissors to him last year, so he's just now getting back to where it's the same size as when I bought it. And then down here I have a trailing watermelon begonia, I think. I'm not for sure on the name. This did not have a name when I got it, and I had to look it up, but it could be wrong. So this guy is really good. Like, just a happy-go-lucky, just gorgeous. I love the leaves. Makes me want to have watermelon all the time. I love the way this guy is just trailing down. Okay, so we're going to move on to my living room, and I've got Xanadu. This guy is popping out new baby leaves all of the time. I cannot wait to see how big this thing gets. I got this at a nursery in Newfolk, Nebraska, earlier in the 2020, right before COVID hit. So, like, look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Just beautiful. Next, some of these were downstairs in our basement under grow lights, so I'm slowly adapting them to spring lights. So this is my Maranta. I don't know the name of this. This guy has struggled, and he's just now starting to get where he's got new leaves coming all the time, especially these new little baby ones, but they do have brown edges, and I know it's not from my watering. I think it's just because they just do that sometimes from lighting. So I'm not sure. So this guy, I need to get some cleaner and clean up the leaves a little bit. And I just use water for cleaning up the leaves. My parlor palm, I've had this thing for several years now. I'm thinking I've had it for 8 years, 9 years, I think. And this is just one, and it's just huge. See all the leaves from summertime. I still haven't gotten those out, but you know, life. And then we're going to come over here 2. This is called I don't know, just snarade on a medium light. So I've got it sitting in a north-facing window, and it's doing pretty good, minus just a few spots where it was leaning up against something and it killed off that side. So when you guys have plants, I do not suggest them leaning up against anything because it could kill off a whole section where it's leaning. So lesson learned for me. Majesty Palm that I got last summer. I did have 2 starting to brown, needs more humidity. This was downstairs under grow lights and it was doing great. I don't know if I'm going to keep it because usually these guys do not do well very much. But I do have this long, beautiful new stem. Sorry about the light. So, yeah, hopefully. And then there's another one popping up right here. So I'm hoping that it does much better up here in this north-facing window. Francis Ivy, I let it go several days without water. My bad. So I did water him, so I'm hoping he'll bounce back, but it's been a few days since I've watered it again, and I'm not sure if it's going to do much, so fingers crossed. Okay, so next plant is a peacock plant, I think is what everybody calls it. So this guy does great in the summertime here. I live in Iowa, so it's really cold right now. But during the summer, it was beautiful, big and bushy, and now it's struggling. But hopefully it stays going. And I just watered this guy. I'm going to have to do it again because this thing sucks up water so quick. And the leaves need a bath. But it does have new growth. I love the way these leaves look. They're just gorgeous on how the colors come out and everything. I love it. Sorry for the nail polish. Painted my nails and haven't taken care of them again. So I'm going to have to get this guy cleaned up today as well. So I usually take one day out of each week and clean up everything and give baths. But this one here, this one needs a lot of care all the time. And I've neglected it. So hopefully I can get back on track to that. All right, so Dumb Canes, Dieffenbachia, if that's what you want to call it. This guy is gorgeous. I love it. It sits and it faces where it's smaller here in the front and it grows taller in the back. I like the way that it looks in the summertime. It sits outside on my back porch and it gets shaded light and it grows so beautifully. So right now, this guy is doing really good. It's got lots of new leaves coming. Just barely a few brown ones. Oh, there's the one. So I need to get this one kind of gone through, and the soil for this one, he likes to stay damp, bright and direct light, but not sopping wet. See that? Look at all that. Plant care today. So I've heard people have these in low light. I've seen people have these in extreme bright light. Mine just sits in a north-facing window right now. Does really well, except for all these brown leaves. They're all old leaves, so got to get rid of those. All right, next I have an umbrella tree. So this guy is almost 14 years old, you guys. Not even kidding. This was a gift when I had my oldest child. And this started out as 2, but one died, and that's usually what happens, I've been told, is that the stronger one will kill off the weaker branch or the weaker trunk. So this one did that, and it was shorter. So this guy is taller than I am. So I'm 5'6", 5'7". So this is much taller than me. And it has started growing more at the base. So I'm super excited about that. And I don't know about you guys, but kids with scissors, not always good for our plants, but you know, life. This is a mystery plant. Not exactly sure what's in here. I got this as a gift from my niece and my nephews. Super excited to see what that turns into. They gave it to me as a Harry Potter joke for herbology class. So I'm super excited to see how that turns out. Next, I have a Chinese evergreen. I have not had one of these before, so I'm super loving this. The leaves on these are just gorgeous. So I'm super, super just happy to have this. I've been wanting one for a while. And this is also sitting in a north facing light because it is wintertime where I'm at. And the light in the winter is a lot less strong than what it is in the summertime. So the light from the north window is perfect for all my plants. Anthurium. I have a love-hate relationship with these things. They're gorgeous. I love them. This guy was super big in the summertime. It was probably, I don't know, that tall. Big, beautiful leaves. And I don't know what happened. So we got new leaves. So I'm super happy to see that it's making a comeback. Wish me luck that it stays happy and healthy. All right, so next I have Horthias. I think that's the name. I got this at Walmart. Cute little pot. Black and white. I don't know if my lighting is really bad. Black and white pot. Really cute. And lots of new bright green growth. I am loving this so much. So look at that. Just new babies in there. I love these guys. Don't touch it. I leave it alone. It sits in a north-facing window. Yeah, there's people that say not to put things near like a window and stuff, but mine actually do pretty good next to it because they're not like butted up against it. Especially with succulents, they like the bright, dry light, dry soil. I mean, so I keep this guy dry. Water it very seldom, maybe once every 3 months. I think the last time I watered it was, well, probably whenever it was watered at the store, which was months and months ago. So moving on to this plant here, my Oxalis Shamrock. This is my purple one. I did have a green one, but that one got eaten by the cat. So that one did not make it. So this purple one's doing pretty good. This is constantly growing and bringing out new growth. Summertime, this wasn't a bigger pot, but it had fallen over, and so I had to put it into a smaller pot that I had because I didn't have a bigger one, because I did have it in a clay pot and it broke. So I'm waiting till springtime, so hopefully I can get a bigger pot and add more to this because I love this. Great for shade. My back porch, I have several trees that shade our back part of the house. So this grows super big and just beautiful. So yeah, it's one of my favorites, especially for spring and summertime outside. Just one of my favorites. All right, so this is some baby cactus, the Thanksgiving one, I think. Lots of new growth coming off of this guy. A little wrinkly for some of these leaves that, I don't know what's going on with them, but it's still growing. So I just leave it alone. Oh, there's another one. So cute. I love the cactuses like these because they're just adorable. Minus the wrinkly ones. All right, so I'm gonna grab this next one here. String of hearts, guys. I'm trying. North-facing window. That's as bright as the light that I'll get inside of my house anyway, especially during winter. So yeah, I'm trying to keep this one alive. I did have a string of pearls and a string of bananas. Both of those died horrific deaths. The loss of those was heartbreaking because I paid a little bit for those and I kept them in an east-facing window and they did not make it. So I'm hoping that this one does much better. Any tips on string of hearts that you guys have for colder months would be appreciated so much. All right, so now my favorite plant in my whole house right here is my Monstera. His name is Manny. Yeah, I name my plants. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. So, went to Tennessee a couple years back and got 4 of these smaller, when these were smaller, I got 4 of them. And I paid $10, $20 a piece, I think. And I got 4 of them. And then, so I brought them home and I propagated part of it for a friend of mine that I met in one of the plant groups on Facebook. And this guy just goes nuts. And over summertime, this went crazy. I had to cut some off and give some away because it was just going nuts. So new baby leaves. Look at that. And this sits in a north-facing window. And the pot that I have it in, I got at Walmart years ago. I've had all sorts of plants in this. So the bottom part of this pot is a plate and a plastic built-in thing, and on the bottom it keeps the water, so it bottom waters from the inside. There is no outside way to drain water, so I have to be super careful with how much water I'm putting in here so it's not getting too full. So I put about, I don't know, about 3 cups of water, and to keep the top part wet. I do keep it dry out in between waterings. It does tend to like that more than other plants do. So that's what I do with this one. Oh, look, there's another one coming up. Super excited. These guys go nuts. I just love them. And the roots on these are beautiful. I did have this on a pole that I had in the middle, and I had it up high, and it was staked up to it. But I took it out because I wanted to just let it kind of do its own thing. And that's what it's doing. It's doing its own thing right here. So I may cut this off and propagate this one. Or may just stick it back in with the mama plant here. Because I don't want it to be too heavy and then like tip the plant completely over, because that would be sad. Okay, let's see. Next plant I have hanging in my window. This guy is about to become trash. This is called a BB. Let me see if I can. Peperomia, and it's a BB. This thing hates me. It was gorgeous when I got it. Any tips on how to keep this alive would be great. See, I do have some new growth. And then all of that, I don't know what happened. I do keep it slightly damp. It does not like to be super wet for some reason. Other peperomias that I had liked to be wet, and I let them dry out and they died. So I love this. It just doesn't love me back. So I don't know. This does no bugs or nothing. It's just I need to clean it up real good. But if you guys know any propagating tips for these, I would be super happy to hear them, because I don't want to lose this. Some of it looks healthy. And right there, it is not. So I'm hoping to find a way to keep this alive, because I love peperomias. All right. Let's go on to this one. So I got this, and I love this one too. But it, like another plant, it's got a lot of new growth. It just not doing the best. Baby tears or something like that, I think. A small version of a wandering Jew, or I think is what the lady told me. I did get it on clearance, so it did have a tag. I don't know where the tag's at now. So if anybody has a plant, the same plant, and has any tips, be happy to hear it. I need to clean this one up too. It's struggling. But life gets in the way, and so I need to focus more on taking care of some of the plants that need it daily. All right, so another one is my yellow philo, and I love this guy so much. Look at that, just gorgeous. A leaf curled up on the end. That's so cute. Just beautiful. I have this hanging in a north window, and it just does, well, except for that leaf. Got holes in it. And it's just gorgeous. All right, so moving on to over here. This is my dead leaf and stem basket, I guess. All right, so this here type of wandering Jew, I don't exactly know the name of it. As you can see, I need to catch up on some plant care. So, I love this one because it does put out pockets of little white flowers, and the flowers stay inside the pockets, and I love it. Spring and summertime, I will do another video to show how all these are doing. They do so well outside. Inside, it's kind of hard to keep our houses at the same humidity level that some of these guys like. So it's really hard to do that. So this does trail up. I got this from my mother-in-law probably 7 or 8 years ago. And it's just, it grows up, and then I trim it down to keep it on a smaller scale. But then during summer and spring and summer, I let it go. So that way it will do its own thing. So yeah, it's another one of my favorites. Phoetonias. This was a big hanging basket. I ran out of room in the basket. I didn't have another basket that was big enough for it. So I put it inside of this little gray urn, which I love. The little urn. It's so cute. It does have drain holes in the bottom of it. We put those in ourselves. And spritz this guy with water every other day. I give it a good steamy shower. It needs, it needs another bath. I just stick it in the shower with me and just let the water get it real good. And then it's good for about a week, and then I have to do it again. And I think this one is called White Anne, I believe. If anybody knows the exact name, please let me know. Look how cute the new ones are. Look at that. So cute. All right, so we're going on to this arrowhead. This is called the White Butterfly. They say low light. Mine do very well in medium to bright light. Brown spots. I did have this in low light, so I need to do some care for that one. I moved it from the low light a couple weeks ago, and I got all these new leaves now. It loves being in the brighter light. It is, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But look at that. Just beautiful. So, it's not that one. It needs to be taken off. These guys I do keep damp. And I do a steamy shower for most of my plants because most of mine are humidity loving plants anyway. Snake plant. Don't know the exact name of it, but this is just, oh, there's dirt in there. You guys can see that real life does get in the way, and sometimes I just don't get to all my plants every day. But this is one of the ones that struggled, and now it's popped out 2. Super happy. Slow growing, but I've had this one for about a year now, and I love this little guy here. I've tried to propagate my bigger ones, and no success, either in water or soil. So if you guys have any tips on doing that, please let me know, because I love snake plants, and I would like to get better at taking care of them. Got another amaryllis back here. This guy has really just grown all the way up. So I'm waiting for the stems to pop up and then see what color they're going to be this year. Orchids, love-hate relationship, guys. All the blooms have just about fallen off. And I bottom water this in the sink. And then I put every other week, I put it in the sink with fertilizer, and I just let the roots soak. And I'm going to pop this out and show you guys. It does so well. I need to repot this once spring hits. I have this kind of away from a window, and it sits in a north-facing window. See, I got to get some of those taken off. I have not done anything to this since I bought it at Walmart. It's the only healthy one that was there when I bought it. So it's lots of good leaves. Always check your plants when you buy them at any of the big box stores or even nurseries. Always see if you can't. Don't buy plants that you can't take them out to check the roots. If you can, check the soil, check the leaves. Make sure you're checking for bugs before you take them home. And if you can't check them, but you still want the plant, quarantine that plant. We're all pros at quarantine by now. All right, moving on. This cute little Dracaena is popping out 2 of them now, so I'm super excited to see how well this does. Got this as a gift last year for my birthday, which is coming up in a few days. So this is called Warnecki. Really cute name. I like Dracaenas because they they're easy to care for, basically. Bright light, let them dry out a little bit, and keep them trimmed sometimes, because if there are 2 stems in here, I've only got 1. Usually if you end up with 2 stems, the choice would be to cut one of them down, because it will suffocate the other one anyway. Not sure that I'm going to do that with these 2 little babies here. May just leave those and just let it grow and see what happens. All right, so next plant, so this is a peace lily, but it's the smaller version. There's a few of them. It's not called the peace lily. It's got another name to it. I can't pronounce it like whatsoever, so I'm not even going to try. So these guys like low to medium light, damp soil, not soaking wet, for mine anyway. Mine sits back, here, let me show you. Mine sits back away from a window, so north window. And my little setup for some of the ones that like the bright light, but could also do low light too. Here is another arrowhead, and this one is called Pink Illusion. And this is one that had struggled. There was 2 of them together when I got it. The root system for this is so big though, I need to water it. So I had to put it in a bigger pot with because the root ball is really big, and I didn't want to cut the root ball. I wanted to leave it alone. I don't really like to mess with the roots unless absolutely necessary. So this guy's finally popping out some new leaves. Super excited because I love arrowheads too. ZZ plants. Who doesn't love a ZZ plant? Like, they're gorgeous. Look at that. All new leaves right here. So pretty. So I know that a lot of people have these in low light. Don't mind that. My youngest decided he was going to start yanking on things. And normally he doesn't mess with those things, but he did. And so now we have to get it put back in. Anyway, so these I did have sitting in a very, very low light where there was like no windows, no strong light, because they were sitting in a hallway that had the light that would come from the bedrooms if the doors were open. So, and then it was struggling. So I brought it out here, and it's been out here for a little over a month, and it's popping out new growth. So I wouldn't, for me, mine are going to stay in an area like this. It seems to be doing really well, so I'm just going to leave it. I don't move my plants very often once I find their happy place. I try to leave them as much as possible. And what they're sitting on a hope chest that my husband made me years ago. And we just keep our extra thick blankets in here for wintertime. So we don't need to be in this constantly. So I can put all of these guys up here, so I'm not constantly having to move them. I do want to eventually get some shelves to put up and around the house. Maybe some glass shelves that I've seen at IKEA, and Amazon has a few, I believe. So I might end up doing that for those. But this is where my hope chest sits in our new house. So I just may leave it like that because I do like that. So moving on. I don't know about you guys, but I love my calla lily. Those are my favorite plants ever, is a calla lily. This painting actually has meaning to it. I get quite a few comments about this one. So there are 5 calla lilies here. And so the 3 that are open are the children that I do have that are alive. And then the 2 that are not all the way open are 2 from miscarriages that I had. So I have all my babies represented in that photo. And funny thing is, I got that photo. It's just a canvas from wish.com. I know, never trust Wish, right? But it took several months to get here. I got this years ago after I lost my second miscarriage. Then I had my 4-year-old. After I had him, I got this, and I took it to a Hobby Lobby, and they stretched it and framed it, and now it is something that everybody talks about all the time because it had just the colors and just really pretty. All right, moving on. So behind my couch, I have a little barnwood table that I had my husband make for me. So we have a few things back here. Spider plants, my arch nemesis. I love them, but I hate them. Makes no sense, right? So this was in a pot, and for some reason, it was not doing well at all. Even during spring and summer, I had it in a super shady spot, and it struggled. So I took it out of the pot a couple months ago, and I found this big glass jar at Walmart for about $10, and I need to soak it again. I'm trying to get, see all that? I don't know what this is, and it's a struggle. But it's got new growth. Lots of new growth. I'm super excited about that. So I left dirt in there with it because I have heard that mixing water with dirt does help with propagation, transferring from soil to water. So now my next step is to take this out and dump it, and then soak it again in some water, drain that out, rinse it off real good, and then eventually get it to where it's in just water. It has lots of roots. Very healthy roots. When I took it out of the pot, it was so healthy roots. So I'm not sure what happened with it while it was in the pot. So as soon as I get this done, I might make a video for that. Just depending on if I can get a second hand to hold and video that for me while I do that. So yeah, lots of new growth. The stems are not really good. I'm going to cut the rest of that stem off because it's not popping out any new growth on it at all. So hopefully, as you can see, it's growing kind of really good now. So I'm really excited about this. So this is sitting right in the middle of my north-facing window and a south-facing window. So another snake plant. This guy was struggling, so I moved it to another pot. It's in a clay pot, and I use an old candle. Yeah, from, I don't know, Bed Bath & Beyond, I think. And I use it for bottom watering. They like to be bottom watered. But see what this is doing? Look at that. It's soggy down here, and it's not even wet. Yeah, see that? I don't know what to do about it. I'm probably just going to end up cutting it off and see what happens. I dropped it. I have the worst luck with things ever. Ugh. Don't mind. See? It's not doing good. Hopefully, I can try and propagate that thing again. Let me see if I can grab the other one. Yeah, that part's not good at all. So that will go in my pot that has all the nasty leaves. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Another snake plant. I don't know the names of these ones. I got these at Lowe's in Tennessee a couple years ago. They're cute. I love them. Kind of growing however it wants to. I do turn them a little bit sometimes. I leave this as much as I can unless it gets really bad. I'm not exactly sure. It's like the calcium or something in the water. But it loves it. It loves being in a clay pot. That's what I meant. Some new growth. Super excited about that. It's always awesome to see new growth. Ponytail palm. Do anybody else have cats that like to eat their ponytail palms? So this is the mini one. These will not get super big. So there's 5 of them in there. And just super cute. My cat eats them, and I have to keep shooing her away because she's going to eat it, and it's not going to be anything left. I do normally clip the brown parts off just so it's pretty looking. And I need to find a higher up place because she won't jump up very high because she's lazy. So she doesn't get into it. Bright light for this. Damp soil. Well draining. And I've got it still in its nursery pot. I haven't really touched it. And then this is actually an orchid pot, and I don't actually use this for orchids. I just use it for holding up other plants. Snake plant. I got this super cheap at my local nursery. And look at this. I got this last summer. Just gorgeous. And I hardly ever touch this. I leave this alone and it just pops out new growth all the time. So this sits in a more of a south-facing window to light. I'm trying to climb up underneath of my clock. Oh, get out of there. There you go. So super gorgeous. I don't remember the name of it. If anybody does, please let me know, because I do need to make tags to put in the ones that I do not know. By one of my favorites too, because it's just gorgeous. Another snake plant. Super love this one. I don't know what's going on with it though. I don't touch them. I do bottom water these. I don't like top watering because it moves the soil too much for my liking. I don't know the name of this though. I try not to touch it too often. It was doing really well. And these, they're slow. They grow so slowly. I've had this for a little over a year, and this was the newest leaf that it put out. And then now it's putting out that one there, but who knows how long it'll take. I think they're cute though. I like the coloring on the edges of them. Another snake plant. I got this at Lowe's years ago in Tennessee. So they had quite a few choices, and I think this is a cylindrical one because it's completely round. Some of them did open up, like that one there. Don't touch it. I leave it alone most of the time. Pop out new growth quite a bit. And this is in a south-facing window, or about 6 feet away from one anyway. What are those little black dots? What are you? Y'all see that? What is that? If y'all know, please tell me. If it's a bug, I need a... Oh, what is that? I do not like bugs. All right, next plant. This is my Florida Beauty. Dirty tag. It's another type of Dracaena. Another one of my favorites. This thing is gorgeous. I love the colors. It's like a splash. It is so pretty. This thing is amazing. I love how this grows. So I do have this in a pot. And it sits in a little metal container. And I like the way it looks. One of my other favorites, because this doesn't really need much care. Just keep it damp and keep it in bright light. So this is closer to a south-facing window. And it just does very well. All right, next thing over. Gigantic snake plant. I don't know the name of it, but it's the dark one. And then it does have a mix of some lighter stripes in there. I don't know if that's another plant that's in there with it. I haven't touched it since I bought it last year. I've just kind of left it alone, and it's growing new growth all the time. Got the basket that it's in at Walmart. I think $20 before clearance, and then